So hi everyone. I'm Stefan from the Ekiko team, and I am very pleased to be joined today by Paula. So Paula is hydrotherapy specialist and in rehabilitation, and you have your fitness center for dogs in the UK. I will give you the floor in just a few seconds, Paula. But first of all, I will briefly introduce myself and Ekiko so everyone understand what we are talking about and why we are here together. So first of all, so Ekiko is a French company, and we do manufacture and design gait analysis for horse and dog locomotion. So we do that in motion, and they are very easy to use and incorporate in the daily practice. And our main user includes vets and physio and osteo, and we have more than almost 300 professionals equipped all around the world, so in almost 30 countries now. So we are a worldwide company, and so Paula, you are one of them from the UK. So maybe you can explain a little bit what you do, just a wide presentation of who you are and what you do in general. Yes, please.
Thank you. Very honoured to be invited to join you this afternoon. Thank you. I'm a rehabilitation practitioner. I incorporate exercise, prescription, fitness work, and hydrotherapy into that, as well as some of the electives that are available as well, looking at both fitness work for working and competition dogs and rehabilitation work for those with either long-term conditions or following injury, surgery, that sort of thing.
Okay. And how long have you been practicing your fitness center?
I've been here nearly 8 years.
Okay. Okay.
So
And
centre's been here 8 years nearly.
okay. And do you have a common pathology or common case that you regularly see coming to for
We
rehabilitation?
see,
Or?
we see a lot of osteoarthritis cases, um, and also quite a few cruciate ligament injuries. They're the
Okay.
two most common.
Okay, okay. And what is your typical method of working? So, do you always ask for a vet referral, or anyone can come to see you with just the willingness to have their dog uh, uh, treated or be more well in their body, or how does it work?
For fitness, where the dog has no known conditions or problems, then people can come directly. If you're working with a dog that has a health problem, then a vet referral is needed. It's kind of a legal requirement here in the UK to have that
Okay.
referral at the moment.
Yeah, okay, okay, I understand. And just to finish, how are you equipped? So I know you have a pool. What device or services do you offer to the client that comes to your center?
Well, obviously, we do hydrotherapy. I do some exercise rehab, which is very similar to physiotherapy type of work, electrotherapies, and obviously now we offer the gait analysis as well, which I find is very very helpful.
Okay, and just for this part, how and to give context to people who will see this, how long have you been using Tendiboots so far? Do you remember?
I don't actually. It must be about a year, I would think. That I've had
Yeah.
it nearly a year.
Yeah, I think it would be almost a year. So you are
Yes,
one
almost.
one of our first users who have received the device, and that we have improved months after month. So yes, I would
Yes.
say almost a year. So
Yeah.
so I will start sharing the presentation that you prepared for the use case that we will share today. So just give me a few seconds. Tick. So do you see my screen or no? Yes, I think. Is it okay?
Yes, I can. Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Okay, perfect. So just you just let me know, and I go slide after slide. So maybe you wanted to I will go on the
Yeah.
first slide,
So
and
this
I leave
is
you yeah.
yeah, this is Bruce, who I have chosen to do as the case study for this afternoon. So if we could just
Mm-hmm.
have a look at the next slide.
Yeah.
He is a Doberman. He's around 11 years of age. We don't have an exact age for him because he is a rescue dog, but he's at
Okay.
least 11. And he
Okay.
has two conditions that affect his spine. He has disco and he has cervical spondylomyelopathy, which is probably more commonly known as Wobbler's syndrome.
Okay. And maybe can you explain a little bit what is it, or what is how do you knew this at first? Was it before you saw that something was wrong, or did you did a vet check, and the vet tell you that, or how did you know that?
Yes, we noticed a problem with his gait, with his walking.
Okay.
That wasn't. He was a bit clumsy. He would fall over or trip over his own feet. Um, and we had MRI scans done, which diagnosed sort of both issues really. Disco is an infection within the vertebrae, which no one quite knows how it occurs, but it's an infection that coincides with a dog that has a urine infection at some point, and
Mm-hmm.
that infection travels to the vertebrae, and it can
And since,
affect the stability of the spine.
okay, and since
Um,
how long he had this issue?
he's had that about 4 years.
Okay. 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 Um, okay. So
So that's him having his gait analysis.
is it your dog, right?
He is my dog, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So if we go to
So
the
we did our first analysis with him in March this year, which
okay.
showed that he'd got some weight bearing lameness on the right fore, and we could see there that the impact force was 27.7% greater on the left than it was on the right. And we also had a similar issue with the right hind leg, whereas we can see there that the impact force was 13.2% greater on the left hind leg. So his right side was affected, which coincided with what we saw with him stumbling, and also what was seen on the MRI scan, as it was seen to be the right side that was affected the most.
Okay, so at this point, what did catch your eyes was the weight bearing difference between left and right, both forelimbs
Yes.
and hind limbs. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and did any other parameter catch your eyes, or no? For
That
now,
was the main one. Yeah, that was the main one that
okay.
stood out.
And at this point, so you know he had some issue. You did MRI, and then you choose to do gait analysis. So you know from now you will be able to see if it's going better or if it's going worse, or how
Yes.
did you end up having uh, uh, did this analysis? So why did you choose to make this analysis? I mean.
I chose to do that for him. This was March was our sort of starting point,
Okay.
to see what his gait was like,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we're selecting therapies and veterinary treatments and so on, as to whether that was making matters worse or whether we were getting any improvement, and just to monitor his overall condition, because both are long-term conditions.
Okay, okay. This is long term, so it makes sense to have something, a kind of historical view of how it's evolving. And
Yes.
okay, because so far, otherwise, what would you use? It was only your visual assessment
It
to
would have been
to.
just a visual assessment, yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, and so the care plan was to first do a hydrotherapy only,
Yes,
or
we started with hydrotherapy, and as you can see in the picture on the left there, sorry if you just go.
This one, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's not very keen on water.
Yeah.
He's very nervous. He's holding on to me there more than I'm holding on to him, I have to say at this point.
Okay.
But you can see by we get to the picture on the right there, he does actually then we do get him to swim. So yes, he does then take part in hydrotherapy. But
Okay.
I have to say, water is not his favourite thing. As far as he's concerned, water is for drinking and nothing
Okay.
else.
Even
And
if
then I think we did a
I
repeat.
read that your pool is very well warm, it's 30 degrees, so it must be comfortable.
Yes, it's usually 30, 31 degrees. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not very happy with the pool. Okay. So should I go
Yes.
down?
Go to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can see here when we repeated his analysis in May that the things have not improved. In fact, we have got worse, as we can see that lameness to the right foreleg has now gone. The difference is 49.3% compared to the left, whereas previously it was only 27, 28. We have a similar picture with the right hind.
Okay.
That impact force is 21%, nearly 21.5% more on the left, whereas previously it was only around 13. And we've also this time got the additional problem of we've got reduced stride length with both legs on the right hand side.
Okay.
Quite
So
significantly. So if you see the figures there, we're up to almost 74%
yeah.
with the right side there. So there was a considerable deterioration that we saw there in his analysis, and that also corresponded very accurately with what we saw from observation of him.
Okay. So this validates your visual assessment and put some concrete numbers on the how is it degrading. So
Yes.
how bad is it degrading? Okay.
Yeah.
So so at this point you were able to know that the care plan that you have tried for 3 months now, I think, was
Yes.
not enough.
Yes. Yeah. And we reviewed several things at this point.
So that lead you to try something else, or to do another vet check, or what did you do at this point
Yeah, I think if you move on to the next slide,
Yeah.
we have a list of things that we looked at and things that we reviewed. We had a medication review with the vet, and his medication was changed. We introduced some clinical massage and some laser therapy. We increased his exercise rehab, and we also looked at his diet and additional and different supplements that we could give. And we also had some chiropractic therapy as well.
Okay. And so after all of that, you did another
We did another
analysis.
Yeah, we did another
So
gait analysis in August.
yeah, so
Where,
again 3 months later, so the same period of time, but with a drastically better results this time.
Yes, and here we can see that he's significantly better. We still have the issues on the right hand side, but it is a lot better than it was previously. And I have got a comparison of all the numbers there on the next slide, I think.
Yeah, okay. I can go on the next one. Yes.
Yeah. So if we look at the sort of recapping our analysis there, with that right foreleg, we were looking at the impact force there. It was almost 28% different on the left in March. That increased to just over 49% in May, and we got it down to 18.5% in August with the introduction of that multimodal approach where we looked at lots of different therapies and things to improve what was happening. Same with the right hind there. We can see that March, it was just over 13% difference. That went up to 21.5 almost in May. And in the August readings, it was within normal parameters, which was very good to see.
Yeah, okay. And even the stride length, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, stride length there. March, it was normal. In May, there was a significant difference, particularly with that right hind. It's almost 74% difference with the left in May. But then moving on to August, the right fore was in normal parameters again, and the right hind was at least 50% better there, much more, only just 31% nearly compared to the left. So
Okay.
We were very pleased with the direction in which he was going.
Okay, perfect. So great news.
And that's him sleeping off all his hard work.
Yeah. So today he's doing well.
He is, yes. Yeah, he's
Perfect.
doing well.
Okay, perfect. So we will end this presentation with this beautiful picture of him enjoying the sofa.
Yes.
Perfect. So why do you think the improvement was not here after the first care plan that you did with only the hydrotherapy? Why do you think it was not enough?
I think partly it was due to him himself and his anxiety within water. He doesn't like water. I have to push him out the door when it's raining. If to go to the toilet, he's not going to go voluntarily. He will go round puddles. He doesn't like water. So although we got him to swim very nicely, he was still quite tense. So therefore the therapeutic benefit isn't as good as it might be if he had been fully relaxed and enjoying himself in the water. So we always try to tailor our care plans around each individual dog, and we look at adding additional therapies and trying different things if that's not successful.
Okay. And did you do after that you did all of the other therapy, but did you also do hydrotherapy, or did you abandon this once and for all?
We don't use the hydrotherapy very often. He's not getting quite the therapeutic effect that we would like. So we do tend to use a lot more of the exercise prescription and the electrotherapies for him.
Okay, so for this use case, at least to summarize, so the gait analysis helped you to have another objective data to guide your care plan and to adjust your strategy for the best of the rehabilitation of this dog. So am I right?
Yes, yeah. It enables us to have some concrete figures that we can compare. It's kind of on the table in black and white, if you like, whereas your judgment on the day, it's, well, yes, he walked. That's not quite as good as it was last time I watched him walk, but that's very much lots of different parameters in there that can affect your judgment on the day. This gives you some concrete figures that you can compare. So I think it's particularly helpful with a dog that has a long-term condition such as his, because we do expect him to deteriorate as time goes on. But it's nice to know that some of the care and the strategies that we've put in place are obviously slowing that process down.
Yeah. And did you share the result with the vet that is following him? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the vet
and
is
so
keen.
He was happy to first know if it was going better or worse, or how was his or her feeling? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. You did not mention the summary part of the app, but I think you like these features.
I do. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, and why do you like it, and does it was it helpful for this particular case, or in
Yes.
general?
Yeah, it's very helpful because it does the maths for you. Maths was never my favourite subject, so that's always a big bonus in my book to start with. But it highlights for you any of the measurements that are not within the normal parameters. Those are highlighted for you, so you can pick those out straight away, which is always helpful if you're talking to a client at the time. You can say, no, well, it's showing a problem, for example, on the left
Yeah.
foreleg, which is what we thought, or not what we thought. And then you can go away and you can read that summary, which breaks down all the numbers for you, and it's very easy to use. It makes it very user friendly. Else, I would be looking at this measurement compared to that one and getting my calculator out to work out what the percentage of difference was and so on. Whereas that's all done for you, and it makes comparison between one and the next also much quicker and easier.
Okay, perfect. And for this particular case, did you analyze this dog in static and in dynamic in parallel, or only in dynamic?
Mainly in the dynamic one. Again, static is helpful in some occasions, but with his particular problem, standing still for him is difficult.
Okay.
So his hind legs will start to sink down if he has to stand still for any period of time. So that isn't necessarily such an accurate picture in his case. So the dynamic was much more accurate and much more helpful, because he also finds to keep moving is a little bit easier than, as I say, to stand still he finds difficult.
Okay. And because I know you have I know you have the stance analyzer and the Tendiboots. So one is static, one is dynamic, and we often had the question, are these complementary, or what is the main difference between the two? From your point of view, and having both of them, what would be your feedback on these two systems in parallel? So would you recommend doing both at the same time, or mainly dynamic for some particular use case, for example? Or what is your feeling about that, and what could you say for people having this question about static or dynamic?
I do tend to use both at the same time. But as I've just mentioned, with a particular case such as Bruce, where the dog finds standing still difficult, I find the stance isn't as accurate. Dynamic, I think, gives a broader picture of what's happening with the dog. And particularly when you're working as a therapist in the areas that I work in, other than in the sort of the fitness side of things, but when you're looking at managing long-term conditions, then as the dog's condition progresses, your care plan has to change and your goals have to change, because towards the end of things, the goal has to be functional movement.
Okay.
So therefore, how the dog is moving is of most importance.
Okay, this is very interesting point that you are talking about. Okay, thank you. And do you, from your experience, because this is also a question that we have often, so we try to answer all of them with your experience. But do you think the Tendiboots changed the gait pattern of dogs? What is your feedback on that?
Yes, it does initially, and I always pop the sensors on the dog, and then the owners will go for a walk around, get the dog to relax with them. We can use toys, we can use treats, we can use whatever motivates the dog. And I usually find that in a pretty short period of time, they've forgotten that they're there and they're focused on walking with their owner, and then we can start recording the analysis.
Okay. So yes, this is what we usually said, is that yes, dogs when they have something in their limbs start to walk a little bit strangely, and but after that they get used to it, and so far we haven't had any issue with dogs that don't want to wear it at all. So yeah, it is
No.
good to hear from you also.
Yes, yeah. It doesn't seem to take them very long at all to get used to it.
Yes, yes, exactly. And is it when we talk about the Tendib and the gait analysis, because that can take some time, depending of the case or the analysis that you must do after all. But is it a service that you have included in your original price, or did you increase a little bit the price to have this, or what was your strategy, your business strategy, I must say, about this?
Yeah, I do charge for it separately on the whole.
Okay.
It is a separate service that I also offer for vets who are struggling with diagnosis, and also other therapists who are wanting to do the same thing. They're wanting to have a look and see if their particular care plan is working for this case, and what the issues actually are. So they also use it for comparison.
Okay, okay, interesting. And is it something that because showing the analysis to the owner or the referral vets, is it something that it's appreciated, or how is your feeling about that, your experience?
Yes, I've had good feedback from both vets and other therapists who have used it, and also from owners. And owners, on the whole, are quite good and will come back and ask questions, um, recommendations from what you found. What would I recommend going forward in terms of therapy, or is or isn't therapy required? That sort of thing. And they're interested in obviously how their dog moves and what they can do to improve that if they find a problem.
Okay, okay, great. And then just one last question: how do you keep the data? So do you keep them in your software, centralized software to keep an history, or is it only on your app or on the web version of Standip? Or
Obviously, it's kept on the app, but I also keep a record within my clinical notes. Anyone who I created my own sort of report form on what the gait analysis shows, that I send out to vets or therapists or owners.
okay, okay. So I think that's all. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your feedback and your experience, and sharing your use case about your dog. And we are happy to learn that he is doing better. And thanks to Tandib that helped guide your
Yes.
care plan also. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.